In midair, a dog and a leopard locked eyes, and what happened next? No one on that cliff could believe. Below was a gorge, hundreds of feet deep, wind howling through, loose stones tumbling into the darkness. A bark rang out. A growl answered. Then, both leapt from opposite cliff edges, as if in a fight to the death. But just seconds later, the truth left everyone frozen. Stay until the end, because what the leopard did mid-air will bring you to tears. The main character was Walter Green, 62, a retired park ranger who had spent decades in Colorado's mountains, now volunteering at a wildlife reserve in Arizona, a place rehabilitating and reintroducing African leopards from a conservation program. Short silver hair, sun-worn skin, deep lines etched from years outdoors. Walter lived alone in a wooden cabin at the edge of the reserve. His only companion, Rusty, a 5-year-old male Australian shepherd with red and white fur, sharp eyes, and boundless energy. That morning, while patrolling the edge of a deep canyon, Rusty suddenly froze, ears up, barking furiously. Walter followed his gaze, and on the opposite cliff edge stood a full-grown leopard, growling low but not in a hunting stance. It was leaning over, trying to pull something from a precarious bush rooted into the rock face. Walter squinted, and his heart tightened. A tiny golden retriever puppy, golden fur tangled and dirty, was trapped between twisted roots, only inches away from a fatal fall into the gorge. Walter glanced at the distance between the two cliff edges, too wide to jump, and the path down to the bottom would take hours. Reserve staff nearby shook their heads. It's too dangerous. Both the dog and the leopard could attack. Rusty barked fiercely, as if to say, "We have to do something." But Walter hesitated. Between them was a wild leopard, and no one could predict what might happen if they got too close. Walter lifted his binoculars, studying the leopard closely. Its eyes were not those of a predator. It crouched low, gently tugging at the puppy without biting down, as if trying to keep it from slipping. Walter thought, maybe it's protecting instead of hunting? Time was running out. Walter uncoiled his climbing rope, tying one end around his waist, the other to Rusty as a signal anchor. Rusty found the only narrow ledge to reach the opposite cliff edge, arriving just as the leopard stepped closer to the puppy. Then, in a moment of danger, Rusty and the leopard leapt at the same time from opposite sides, not to fight, but to meet in mid-air, directly above where the puppy was dangling. Gasps erupted from the onlookers. No one dared to shout, afraid to shatter the delicate moment. Rusty and the leopard landed on a narrow rock ledge, shielding the puppy from the fierce wind. The leopard gave a low growl, but not in threat. It turned toward Walter, as if to signal, "Hurry!" Walter rappelled down, securing the trembling puppy inside his jacket. When he looked up, the leopard was still there, eyes fixed on him. Before leaving, it dipped its head, then backed away into the forest, vanishing as if it had never been there. In all his years working with wildlife, Walter had never seen a leopard protect a dog. The puppy was taken to the rescue station, fed, and quickly regained strength. Walter tracked down the owners, a family who had lost their dog during a camping trip the week before. Rusty was hailed as a hero, and the tale of the kind-hearted leopard became a story everyone at the reserve told. Every time Walter passed that gorge, he thought of that mid-air moment. He believed that sometimes kindness could cross every instinct and every boundary between species. That's the end of today's story. But if you think this was the most miraculous tale, you haven't heard about dog stayed by the riverbank for 3 days without food or water. When a rescuer approached, the dog jumped into the water and pulled out something that made him cry. Don't miss the video next to this one to find out why the whole world cried for that small, brave dog. Thank you. and see you in the next story from Soulpaw Stories V.